Good morning, guys.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, today's topic is TDS. Two more classes we have for taxes today, tomorrow, and maybe if required one more class. Right. So, so I would like to know, do you know what is TDS? Ramla, what is TDS? Yeah, guys, what is TDS?
Tax deducted at source.
Very good. What do you mean by tax deducted at source? What do you know about this?
Sir, not much, sir, but then it is levied on person who is earning income.
Okay, it is
Anything revenue or income, anything. Not only income, revenue or anything. No?
okay. No, I want more details. I want more details.
Sir, uh, I don't know completely, but then
I
when I
thought what on the income earned, what you pay is basically tax.
yes, sir.
Then what is TDS? Yeah,
Not sure, sir.
thank you. You know what you have been thinking so far. So fair enough. What Urmila, any you want to add something to this?
No, sir.
Hmm. But you know what is TDS? No?
Sir, but till now we didn't understand why we are paying TDS also, why we are filing yearly returns also, sir.
That's what. That's what it was. Do you know anything about that? Is what I was asking.
That
Okay.
we don't know, sir. I don't know how to deduct, how to do this
How
and
to
all.
detect? How to detect?
Not how to deduct and all, sir. Not completely. That I was just doing reconciliation at that time. That's all, sir.
X, Y. Okay. X is providing to Y. Okay. A uh, for his Y's house, X is providing electric work. Electric work. Okay. So when X is providing the work, let us assume the work charges which X which X which X gives bill to Y, and Y will pay 1 lakh rupees. Now, this 1 lakh rupees is expense for whom,
Why?
and income for
X.
X. This makes sense.
Yes, sir.
Now that I have given you this scenario, can you tell me what is TDS and how TDS is applicable in this scenario? Yeah, can you try?
Hmm.
In this scenario, how TDS is applicable?
Sir, I think Y will deduct TDS and then pay, sir.
That's it. Okay. So this Y is the source. of income for X. Y is the source of income for X, correct?
Yes, sir.
So he has to make a deduction. Just assume 10%. I'm not telling how much 10%, 2%, 1%, how much it is what we are going to learn. What we are going to learn is that part. Guys, getting it? And
Yes.
he will pay how much? He will pay only 90,000. But what will he do with this 10,000? This 10,000 he will pay to the income tax department. He will pay to the income tax department. And he will quote excess PAN number. I am supposed to pay him 1 lakh. I paid him only 90,000. The other 10,000 I am paying it to you on behalf of X. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Now, X does not have only 1 lakh income. He will have a lot of other income. Correct?
Yes, sir.
No. Before we go into that, why when X takes 90,000, he will ask, but I gave you bill for 1 lakh. Why are you giving me only 90,000? Why will issue a Form 16? Form 16 says that X, I have to give you 1 lakh, but I am giving you only 90,000. The 10,000 has been deposited in your name so and so day, so and so time, so and so transaction reference number. Agree or not? Make sense, guys?
Yes, sir.
That is called Form 16. Now, X will have all so many other incomes. So let us assume total income of X is, let us say 10 lakhs. And we know how much tax he has to pay. How much tax he has to pay on 10 lakhs? Yeah.
10%, sir.
Then what did we learn in tax calculations? What did we learn about slab rates? Nitya, you were there that day. Slab rates, did we not discuss? What are the slab rates?
Sir, old one, not new one, sir.
You,
5 till 5 lakh, it is nil. And then
uh,
5 lakh to 7.5, it is
hmm,
one sec. 5 lakh. Is it,
hmm.
sir? I am only confused, sir.
What are Mila?
Yes, sir.
What are the tax slabs? Hmm?
Old is like from 0 to 2.5 lakh nil.
Hmm.
5 lakh to 10 lakh, it is 5%.
Hmm.
More than 10 lakh, it is
5
30.
lakh to 10 lakhs
10
is how
per,
much? 5%.
no,
Right?
sir.
So,
20% plus 12,500.
so how much is that?
Yes, sir. 1 minute.
How much is that?
Wait a minute.
Sir, 5 to 7.5, it is 10%. 7.5 to 10, it's 15%, sir.
Is it? From
Sir,
when?
new tax. From new, sir, the new one, sir. Or the,
For previous year 19 and 20, you tell me.
uh, uh, till 2.5, it is nil. 2.5 to 5, it is with rebates, sir, 5%.
5%, how much is that?
Sorry, not 12,500.
12,500.
And then again,
5 to 10.
5 to 10, 10%, sir.
That
No, sir. 10 or 15, sir.
20.
Total is 37,500.
How? 37,500. On 10 lakhs income.
Yes, sir.
On 10 lakhs, it is 1 lakh 12,500.
It is 10 lakh. It is not more than 10 lakhs, no?
10 lakhs. So
If it is more than 10 lakh only, then it will be 30% plus 1 lakh 12,500, no, sir?
30% I am not calculating.
Directly taking.
0 to 2.5 lakhs, 0. Okay? Yes or not?
Yes, sir.
2.5 lakhs to 5 lakhs?
5%.
How much? That will be
5%.
how much?
12,000.
Calculate amount. 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs?
20%.
How much?
30% plus 12,500.
20% how much? 20% on 5 lakhs.
1 lakh, sir.
Huh?
1 lakh, 1 lakh.
So total
12 lakh, sorry, 1 lakh 12,500.
1 lakh 12,500. Right, Urmila? Urmila, yes or no? This is the tax. So the government is asking X to pay 1,12,500, but he will not pay that. He will say, on my behalf, already Y has paid 10,000. He will deduct that 10,000 and pay the remaining amount of 1,02,500. Does that make sense? Does it make sense, Nitya?
Yes, sir.
What, Urmila? Correct?
Yes, sir.
This is the concept related to TDS. That means who is paying the tax? Why is paying the tax? On the source, not full calculation, just some calculation, just some ad hoc basis. Y doesn't know total income of X, but some amount shall be paid to the government in advance. This is not advance tax, huh? This is not advance tax, but it is like an advance only. Government is collecting the money from the source itself. Yes, you follow? You're getting it?
Yes, sir.
That means what? Whoever is giving income to the other person, they have to do TDS. So Nitya is paying accounting minds fees. So what? Nitya should do TDS? You have to do TDS and then pay? Because that is expense for you, fees is income for me. Should you?
Sir.
At home you are paying to the maid salary. You have to do TDS?
No, sir.
Uh, are you getting it or not?
Yes, sir.
So when to do TDS, when not to do TDS is the question. So TDS is not required to be done in every case. Only some identified cases, there only TDS has to be done. Guys, getting it? Guys, following this or not?
Yes, sir.
Right. That's what we discussed today. So in which all cases TDS should be done? Okay. TDS has to be done on the following, in the following cases. First one is TDS on salaries. So when a person gets salary from the company or an organization, that organization which is paying tax, which is paying the salary, should have to do TDS. Sir, how much TDS you have to do? You have to, it is unlike the example I gave, not some ad hoc. Properly calculate the person's income and do the TDS. Sir, will the employer know the employee's income? Yes, of course he will know. He is the only one giving him salary, right? Guys, you follow?
Yes, sir.
So, if there is Nitya Private Limited and in Nitya Private Limited, I am the finance manager. If Nitya is giving me salary, then while giving salary, she knows that 1 lakh per month is my salary. So total salary of mine is 12 lakhs. On 12 lakhs, tax will be calculated. What tax? Regular tax will be calculated, and the remaining the Nitya Private Limited Company itself will pay the tax on my behalf. Are you following it or not? Getting it or not?
Yes, sir.
Then you may have a question, sir. You are working for Nitya Private Limited Company, but you may have some other income also, like bank deposits, rental income, and all. What about the tax on that? Who will compute? I have to give to the company those details. It is my responsibility to give details of those uh, uh, incomes, other incomes. If I have any, I have to give, and based on that the company has to consider that and calculate tax and pay the tax on my behalf. They will deduct this money from my salary and pay the tax. Guys, getting it?
Yes, sir.
Urmila, you follow?
Yes, sir.
Right. So this is how things work. This is how things work with respect to TDS related to salaries. My experience tells that they don't ask any questions on salaries. TDS on salaries, they don't ask anything. Okay. However, a small point has to be covered here. Okay. This must be discussed here. That is what? For example, as I told you, Nitya Private Limited Company, in that the employee is drawing 10 lakh salary after HRA deductions and all that, it is 10 lakhs. Correct? Now, if the employee Mr. X has any interest income, the employee has to report that income to the company. So the company will consider 11 lakhs and pay tax. Are you getting this or not?
Yes, sir.
If Mr. X has any house property, if there is any house property income, then that income also X has to report, and total 13 lakhs the company will deduct tax. They will only calculate the total tax and they will deduct. If any, this is income from other sources, this is from house property. If they have any capital gains, that has to be reported, and the company has to calculate tax on the total amount of 10 lakh, 1 lakh, 2 lakh, like that. Are you getting it or not?
Yes, sir.
If the person has a business also, and from the business there is a loss in the business, can this loss also be reported to the company? No. The employer should consider incomes, but should not consider say
PG.
losses, should not consider losses while calculating the income. Does it make sense?
Yes, sir.
Right? However, the employer can consider loss from house property up to 2 lakhs he can consider. Are you getting it? Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
The loss from house property can be considered.
Screen.
Does that make sense? Yeah? Yes, Nitya? Yes, Nitya?
Yes, sir.
Right. So that is the point related to salaries. TDS on salaries. Nothing great there. Okay, just that much you have to remember. The next section is TDS on interest on securities. Okay, there are companies which issue bonds or debentures. Okay, in that case, when they are paying any interest to the public, they are supposed to do TDS. Okay, so read the provision TDS on interest on securities. Nitya, why don't you read it out?
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
So, applicability,
Hmm.
payment of interest, capital gains. So, CG, what is that, sir?
CG.
Payment of interest, CG, SG,
What's CG?
company,
What is
etc.
CG?
Capital gains, sir? No,
What is SG?
no idea, sir.
What formula? What is CG?
1 minute, sir.
Central government.
Yo, okay, sir.
Hmm. Hmm.
Payment of interest, central government, state government, company, etc.
Right.
Paid
So,
by
so this provision is applicable on payment of interest by central government, by state government, or other companies, or etc. Hmm.
paid by any person issuing the security.
Right. This interest is on securities. Governments issue securities, government bonds, NHA bonds, rural electrification bonds, gold bonds. The government issues some bonds. So this is applicable on bonds. Right, guys?
Yes, sir.
And what? It is applicable on for companies also when they are issuing securities only. Okay, like debentures, deposits on that. Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
TDS rate
Hmm.
10%,
Hmm.
20% when PAN is not furnished.
Right. So the company is paying interest. When the company is paying interest, then it has to do TDS at 10%. So if it is paying 20,000 rupees interest, then it will deduct 2,000 and pay the remaining 18,000 as interest. However, if the person who is getting the interest is not giving the PAN details, then 20% will be deducted as TDS. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now that is a completely nowadays they don't issue securities only if you don't have PAN. So it is irrelevant. Just remember the 10%. Okay, next.
Yes, sir. Exemption from TDS. The
Wait a second.
recipient.
Wait a second. What if X and Y? X is paying interest, sorry, Y is paying interest to X, right? On that interest they are doing TDS. Why they are doing TDS? Why they are doing TDS?
To pay tax.
Why? X can pay tax, no? Why Y has to deduct the tax and pay?
Sir, because why has to pay tax, no, sir?
Y will pay
Sir,
anyway. Y will pay his tax. Why why will do TDS and pay and give the income to X? Why he should do that? What is the logic? Why government has made this rule? One more time. A and B. B is paying interest to A, and the tax law says that B has to do the TDS and pay the interest. I am asking why the government has made such a rule. Logic.
Sir, is it like B is paying on behalf of A, sir?
Yeah,
No.
but why? Why that rule? A himself can pay, no? A he himself has to pay. Why you are putting the fitting on B? Yes or not?
Yes, sir.
Why? Why is this rule? What is the logic? I just told you in today's class. What is the logic?
Sir, the first example which you gave, no, sir, in the beginning,
Hmm.
that when B deducts tax from here and then he pays it to income tax, that is what the logic you gave, sir.
Why that logic? Why that logic? Why? What is the reason behind that?
A might not pay.
A might not, very nice. A might not pay. The second reason is that A will pay after the year end. Correct.
Yes, sir. Some
Now
advance.
during advance only we are getting money. Correct.
Sir, so A will also pay, then B will also pay, sir. But B will
I
pay it.
already explained you. A at the end of the year will calculate the total tax, deduct this amount and pay the balance.
Yes, sir.
Understood or not? So
Yes, sir.
both will not pay. A will pay if anything is left over. Getting it? What is
Sir.
it? Following it or not?
Sir, what do you mean by A will pay when something is left out, sir?
Yeah. 20,000 interest B is paying to A. So they are deducting 10%, 2,000 and 18,000 is what B is paying to A, correct?
Yes, sir.
What is the income of A?
18,000.
No, he will have so much of other income. His total income is 10 lakhs.
Yes, sir.
On 10 lakhs, tax is 1,25,000. Sorry, 1,12,500. 1,12,500, no, or 1,25,000. How much did we say a while ago?
1,12,500, sir.
1,12,500. 1,12,500. Correct? This is the total liability of A. Will he pay 1,12,500 to government?
No, sir.
How much will he pay?
He will deduct and then he will do
He
something
will
and all.
deduct the 2,000 rupees which is already paid by B and then pay the remaining. Correct?
Yes, sir.
That's what I mean. Leftover he will pay. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
One more time I'm asking the same question. Why this TDS provision has been imposed by the government on B?
If A doesn't pay, at least they'll get the advance.
That is one. And
Yes,
second, second is they will get tax in advance. There are
yes,
two. Correct?
yes, sir.
Right? So just imagine A. A is a retired person. He doesn't have any income. A total income for the whole year is 20,000, which he gets from interest from these securities which he deposited. Like my father, he's a retired person. He doesn't have any income. He has some small bank interests he will get. Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
You're following it or not? So
Yes,
his
sir.
income, government itself is saying up to 5 lakh, there is no need to pay tax. Then who is this company to deduct tax on behalf of my dad? Then he doesn't need to pay tax itself. Are you getting the logic or not?
Yes, sir.
Urmila, you are following it? Yes. So here there is no need to deduct tax. So when TDS need not be deducted, when it is not deducted? Number one,
The recipient of such income file a
recipient,
declaration.
my father. Okay, assume my father. Okay, my father is the recipient of such income. Yes, go ahead.
The recipient of such income should file a declaration that his income does not exceed the maximum amount
He
not
tells to
chargeable
the
to
company.
tax.
He tells to the company that my income does not increase, is not more than 5 lakhs. I don't have to pay any tax. So please don't do TDS. Then they will not do TDS. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Urmila, this declaration is called what? Is there a form number for this?
On 16A, sir.
Huh? 16A.
Yes, sir. For salaries, no, sir. For interest on securities, this one, section 194A.
I am asking you which form, declaration, not to do the TDS. You are
26,
not, huh?
26A, form 26A. In my office, we are doing that only, sir.
What you are, see, that's what is the issue. 26A is what? Read that. What is this form? What is does it tell? You tell. You see and you then you will know. What is that form 26A? Is it a declaration saying that no TDS has to be done? I am asking you for point number one. The recipient is saying that please don't deduct any tax from my interest because I don't have to pay any tax to the government. So unnecessarily don't deduct tax is what they are requesting the source not to deduct any TDS. That is what for. Right, Urmila? The 26A and all for 16 and all, when TDS is done, in that case you are talking about, correct? Correct or not, Urmila?
Yes, sir.
So look for it. Yeah, Nitya.
Sir,
Do you know?
I don't know which form, sir, but then 26A is for maintaining the details, no, sir, of the.
26A is for details of TDS,
Yes, sir.
right? But what is that form in which the recipient will give to the tax deductor saying that please don't deduct tax. It's not required.
On 15H, sir.
See, I was asking something, you were saying something. Now you got it.
Yes.
Following it or not. So, know that purpose. That is also given in this tranche. Done, Urmila? Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Right. Next one.
When paid on interest on securities which are held in dematerialized form.
So when interest is paid on securities under dematerialized form, that means if interest is, if a demat account is opened and the securities are added there and interest is paid through a demat account directly to your bank account, then also TDS need not be done. Next.
Sir, then nowadays everyone will have demat account. Then it's
So this problem is not so much applicable. Right.
uh,
Next.
interest on debentures paid to resident individual by companies in which public or
Huh?
substantially interest listed companies in recognized stock.
Interested, that is substantially interested. So if in any company, public limited companies and listed companies also don't have to do TDS. And who else need not do TDS? The interest on securities, including
Zero coupon bonds.
on bonds also. TDS is it need not be done. Right, guys?
Yes, sir.
When TDS has to be done? When the amount is credited or when the payment is made. So in the books of accounts, you are showing that interest is due. You did not pay, but you are showing that interest is due. Then TDS has to be done and first paid to the government. You did not pay the interest. You did not pay the 20,000, but you have to pay the 2,000 to the government. Are you getting it or not?
Yes, sir.
Right. So this provision I went depth into it. So similar exemption from TDS points will be there in other sections that you have to understand on your own, right? Good. This is related to interest. Next, what is the next one?
Interest other than interest on securities.
Yes, that means what? Interest is not only paid on securities. I deposited some money in the bank. Bank is not issuing any securities. Bank is taking a deposit and giving interest. It says fixed deposit. Are you getting it or not? That is also interest only. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Similarly, I am in need of money. Okay, I want to, for accounting minds, I want to do interiors properly. Okay, so I want another 5 lakh rupees. I don't have that 5 lakhs. I have borrowed this 5 lakhs from Nitya, and to Nitya I pay interest. This is not security. This is not, I did not issue any securities. I borrowed money and I'm paying interest. Are you getting it all?
Yes, sir.
On this also TDS must be done. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, read.
Applicability.
Hmm.
Payment of other type of interest
Hmm.
paid to any resident in India.
Hmm.
Paid by payment of interest by all assessees other
Hmm.
than HUF and individual who are not subject to audit.
What did you understand? So this paying, doing TDS and paying interest. So I borrowed 5 lakhs from Nitya and I am paying 50,000 interest to her. Should I have to do TDS? I don't have to do TDS if I am a HUF or an individual who is not subject to paying, doing audit. Are you getting it or not?
Yes, sir.
So who is subject to do audit? Who is supposed to do audit? Who is supposed to get their books audited?
The person whose turnover is more than 1 crore.
Right. Accounting minds turnover is not more than 1 crore. So we don't have to get audited. So we don't have to do TDS. Even if you are paying interest. Guys agree?
Yes, sir.
Make sense or not? So that TDS problem is not there for accounting minds. Why? Because it is an individually managed firm and our turnover is less than 1 crore. We can pay interest. We can show that as expense, but we don't have to do TDS while paying interest. Is that understood, Urmila? Right, Nitya?
Yes, sir.
So what is the TDS rate?
10%, 20% if PAN is not furnished.
Right. Now exemptions from TDS. Exemptions from TDS what? Sir, I have taken a housing loan, sir. On housing loan, I am paying every month interest. Should I do TDS? Not required. Why not required? When you are paying interest to banks, public financial institutions, insurance companies, and interest paid to partners, TDS need not be done. Does it make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So these are the exemptions. Who need not do TDS? So even if I take interest from a bank, I don't have to do TDS. Even if I am a big company also, I don't have to do TDS when paying interest to a bank. Bank will pay, they know how to, they are governed by RBI. RBI will take care that the companies are paying proper taxes or not. Are you getting it or not?
Yes, sir.
So how much TDS? How much is the TDS?
10%, sir.
When?
When the
When
PAN is furnished.
when the payment is more than
40,000.
this is an amendment. Okay, and for senior citizens, if it is more than 50,000. Guys, getting it
Yes, sir.
right? So this is related to interest. What is the next one?
Payment to contractors, section 194C.
Payment to contractors, section 194C. Go ahead, read.
Applicability, payment to contractors
Hmm.
paid to any person resident in India,
Hmm.
paid by central or state government, local authority, central or state or provincial
Hmm.
corporation,
Hmm.
company, cooperative society, housing board,
Hmm.
trust or university, firm,
Hmm.
individual and HUF only when they are subject to audit under section 44AB in the preceding financial year and paid for business purposes, not required when paid for personal purposes.
Very good. So, dear friends, what is that they are saying here? They are saying here is that contractors, I told you, right? Electricity contract. Okay. So, I have given an electricity contract to someone who did electricity wiring and all. That is a contract. On that contract, while I am making the payment to the person who did the contract work, I have to do the TDS and I have to pay only if the contract amount exceeds how much? If it exceeds 30,000 rupees. Guys, make sense? Yes, if the total contract value exceeds 30,000, then I have to do TDS. Right, Nitya?
Yes, sir.
Right. So let us say for accounting minds, Nitya is a contractor. She's a contractor. She is supplying. She's supplying. Uh, what do you call it? Uh, manpower, HR consulting. She's some contract. She's supplying us some services. Okay, let's say it's like an AMC, annual maintenance contract. She comes every year or every month, sees that our projectors are working properly, our computers are working properly, our servers are working properly, and she bills us. How much is the bill? She is making a bill of 25,000 rupees every month. So when I'm paying 25,000, should I do TDS?
Yes, sir.
No. Why
Sir,
no?
aggregate will be more than 1 lakh, no, sir.
Okay, you already got that. So what is that? For the first month, I need not do TDS. For the second month, I need not do TDS. For the third month, I need not do TDS. For the fourth month, I don't have to do TDS. But for the fifth month,
Have to do, sir.
I have to do TDS.
Sir, but fourth month only it will be 1 lakh, no, sir.
The provision is exceeding 1 lakh.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes, sir.
From the fifth month, you will do TDS. Now you will have to do TDS how much? Let us assume for the time being 1%. 1% of what you should do TDS in the fifth month? 1% of
Is it 1 lakh 25, sir?
1,25,000 you have to do TDS. Because now you have crossed 1 lakh. On the total amount, you have to do TDS. Understood? Yeah. So when it is 1%, 1% in case of individuals and HUFs, and in other cases it is going to be 2%. Following it?
Yes, sir.
Now, this TDS is not applicable in case of contract of hiring and renting. Okay, renting of equipment. So Nitya is running a software company. I provide her the contract of supplying cars. Whenever she calls, I will send a car for her. Okay, and the car, she will use it and again return the car, and I will, she'll monthly she'll be paying me money. That is a hiring and renting of equipment. That's not covered under this. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, similarly, I am an airline agent. I am providing air tickets whenever her employees are going abroad and all. For that, she pays me. That's a contract I have entered to give her air tickets. There also, it's not applicable. Getting it or not? Yeah, in case of a transport operator, okay, goods carrier and all. For example, I supply trucks to her. Then, if I am under section 44 AE, if my business, I have trucks less than 44 AE, if I have less than 10 trucks, then you need not do TDS for me. If I have got more trucks, then only you will have to do TDS for me. Nitya, you are following it. Right? So let's do one problem on contractors. See this ABC Limited. Read it out, Nitya.
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
Some Mrs. Hemalata has made payments of rupees 5 lakhs to
Wait,
contract.
which one you're reading? This one. Ah.
ABC Limited makes the following payments to Mr. X, a
Hmm.
contractor, for contract work during the previous year 2019-20.
Hmm.
20,000 on 1/5/2019,
Hmm.
25,000 on 1/8/2019,
Hmm.
28,000 on 1/12/2019.
Hmm.
On 1/3/2020, a payment of 30,000 is due to Mr. X
Hmm.
on account of contract work.
Hmm.
Discuss whether ABC Limited is liable to deduct tax at source under Section 194C from the payment made to Mr. X.
So what do you think?
Sir, I got the same sum for articleship written exam, sir. I did all the steps correct and then I deducted 10%.
Why 10%?
Sir, I got confused, sir. I deducted 10, it was 1%, I deducted 10% and I came. And that guy gave half mark for that problem, sir.
Very good. Hmm. Calculate. Calculate and tell.
Sir, is it, we have to do it based on payment and receipt basis, no, sir? So due payment will not be considered.
Sorry? Whichever is earlier, due or received, whichever is earlier. You're getting it?
1,030, sir, yes, sir.
What again?
1,030.
1030 is what?
The TDS deducted, sir.
1030 is the TDS deducted, is it? Let me check the answer. 1030 is the deduction done. Yeah, 1030 is the. Rumla, you need any help there? Rumla? Okay. I didn't get your voice, nevertheless. I could not hear you. Right. That's about your contract. Okay, let us do one more problem. The one you were reading, Hemlata.
So screen.
Hmm.
Mrs. Hemalata has made payment of rupees 5 lakhs to contractors for business purpose during
Hmm.
the last 2 quarters of the year 31st March 2019.
Hmm.
Our turnover for the year ended 31/3/2019 was rupees 205 lakhs. Is
Hmm.
there any obligation to deduct tax at source?
Is there any obligation to deduct a tax?
Yes, sir.
What is that? How much?
So for the TDS deduction, it has to be either 30,000 per month or 1 lakh aggregate, sir.
Hmm.
And for the audit thing, it should be the turnover should exceed 2 crores, sir.
Come again. I did not follow. Come again.
So for the TDS, for deducting TDS, the payment should be more than 30,000 per month or single contract, sir.
Uh,
And then 1 lakh should be for
so
the
did it
aggregate.
cross? Did that amount cross?
Yes, sir.
So
We have to deduct TDS
then,
of 1%.
you have to deduct TDS at 1%. Then you are saying something related to
Yeah.
audit. Yeah.
They told us that turnover exceeded the
Exceeded.
turn the year for the year ended 31/3/2019 was rupees 2 lakh 105 lakh.
Okay.
You
So
told
how?
us
What is the
people
rule?
who are subject to audit they have to
Rule
deduct.
related to that.
Sir, in the previous when we were studying about contract, there was a point also that people who are subject to audit they have to deduct TDS.
People who are subject to audit are supposed to
Sorry,
do TDS. And
companies.
so this Hemlata is subject to audit or not?
Yes, sir.
How can you say?
Sir, turnover exceeded 2 crores, 1 crore, no, sir, actually. I don't think.
Right? So how much TDS she has to do?
Sir, 2%, sir, company.
How can you say it is company?
Business purpose, sir.
So business means why accounting means is not a company. We are also doing business.
She is subject to audit means she must
Who
be
is
a
subject
company.
to audit? How you can say that a person is subject to audit? Is how can you say that?
Yes, sir.
Subject to audit is based on turnover.
Turnover.
You are getting confused.
Yes, sir.
I am Hemlata. I am paying. Correct? I should do TDS or not depends on what?
Turnover.
Turnover. You are receiving the interest. You are receiving the payment. How much should I do TDS? Depends on what?
Whether I'm an individual or company, sir.
Whether you are an individual HUF. Individual HUFs also do business, ma.
Yes, sir.
You are individual or HUF. It depends on that.
Yes, sir.
If you are individual or HUF, then
1%.
and if any other case,
2%.
2%. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's it. Is that clear, Nitya? You followed? Urmila, I'm not getting your voice at all today. Go ahead, next one.
A foreign enterprise enters into a contract for the fabrication and supply of components. Yes, sir.
Urmila, is it possible for you to read?
Actually, I'm having a headache.
Okay, no problem.
I-
Nitya, continue.
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
A foreign enterprise enters into a contract for the fabrication and supply of components for machinery with X and Co., a firm in India. X and Co. in turn subcontracts the work to Y and Co., a firm, and pays it 20 lakhs during the financial year 1920.
Hmm.
Discuss TDS liability.
Hmm. What is the TDS liability here? So what we are trying to tell you here is that TDS is applicable even in case of subcontracts. Okay, and where the amount is crossing 1 lakh rupees, 10 or 30,000, as the case may be, this this provision will be applicable. Since it depends whether in case X and co should deduct tax on this 20 lakh, on this 20 lakhs, yes, on this 20 lakhs the tax must be deducted. How much must be deducted? 2%. Why? Because what did we assume? Did we assume anything? Did we assume
Sir,
anything? No.
sir, but who will deduct tax, sir?
Who will deduct tax? You tell me.
Uh,
Ex- Explain the problem. Explain the problem.
sir, screen, sir, just a second. Sir. I'll take a screenshot.
Hmm.
Yes, sir. Foreign enterprise enters into a contract for the fabrication and supply of components for machinery with it. Foreign enterprise enters into a contract with X, sir.
Ah.
And then X, one second.
Ah.
Then X and Co. in turn
Ah.
subcontracts the work to Y and Co., a partnership firm.
Ah.
So X will subcontract it to Y,
Ah.
and X will pay 20 lakhs to the Y firm, sir.
Ah. So who has to do TDS? Who has to do TDS?
Foreign enterprise. No. No, sir. No, sir.
Why foreign? How foreign enterprise will know?
Sir, but foreign enterprise only will pay X, no, sir.
But why foreign enterprise will know about Indian taxes? If they
Okay.
know
Yes,
anything
sir.
about it, they will be able to learn income tax now.
No, sir.
Apply the logic. So this is irrelevant for us.
X will deduct and pay, sir.
X will deduct and pay. So we are talking about this transaction, right?
Yes, sir.
So be analytical. Be very, very analytical, right? Okay. Alpha Industries, could you guys try this? Answer this. Go ahead, Nitya.
Yes, sir. I should read out the problem, sir.
Answer the question, that's enough.
Sir, 11/11/2019, the total will come up to 1,68,000, sir. At that time, the tax applicability
Hmm.
tax will be deducted, sir.
How much?
Alpha Limited. Sir, 2%, no, sir.
Hmm. So how much?
2,136 will be deducted. And then in the next month, 54,000 into 2%. 1,080 will be deducted, sir. Next
Hmm.
month. So total will be 3,216, sir.
No. In the month of 11/11/2019, how much TDS has to be done?
So the total from till 11/11/2019, the total will be 1,68,000, sir.
Hmm.
So 2% will be deducted, sir.
Hmm.
That 2,136 is the tax deducted.
And how much will be paid?
So paid also 2,136.
To Vilambat, how much you will pay?
Oh, pay. 1,464.
You already paid 11,300, already paid 21,500, already paid 32,000. How much you will pay?
39,864, sir.
Right. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
When did you pay 39,600 something? You said when did you pay?
Mm, on the payment date, sir, 11/11.
Is
11/11.
right? Now, how much money you have kept for TDS purposes?
2,136.
Then you will pay this to the government.
Next month, sir.
Very good. Next month when?
Before 10th, sir.
Before 7th.
7th.
Before 7th you are supposed to pay.
Yes, sir.
Right, Urmila? Following it or not? Right? Similarly, for 50, for the next 54,000 also, same rule is applicable. Done.
Yes, sir.
Try the fourth one. Try the fourth one. Go ahead, read.
Yes, sir. Compute the amount of tax reduction at source on the following payments paid by Mrs. S Limited during the financial year 2019-20 as per the provisions of the Income Tax Act 1961 on
Hmm.
30/6/2019. Payment of rupees 25,000 to Mrs. X
Hmm.
Limited for repair of building.
Hmm. Hmm. So,
So 25, it is less than 30,000 also the single contract. So
bye. Easy.
yes, sir.
No TDS is required. Go for the next one.
Yes, sir. Ashwin doing manufacture and wholesale trade furnishes you the following information: total turnover for the financial year.
Hmm.
Particulars rupees
Hmm.
2018-19 2 crores 5 lakhs.
Hmm.
2019-20 95 lakhs.
Hmm.
Interest paid to UCO Bank that 41,000.
Hmm.
Contract payment to Raj, two contracts of 12,000 each, 24,000.
Hmm. So, can you calculate the TDS amount?
Sir, interest paid to bank that doesn't attract. Okay.
Eco Bank, you are paying interest, does not attract any TDS.
Interest TDS, sir.
Right. Then what? So, then where TDS is applicable?
Sir, in this question, they didn't even in the contract
Yeah, even in the contract.
they didn't cross the threshold limit. No, sir, it's below
No.
30.
So in
It's
both the
below 30.
cases, there is no.
No TDS, sir.
Yes, you have to mention these points.
Yes, sir.
Right? Go ahead. Next.
State in brief the applicability of tax reduction at source provisions, the rate and amount of tax reduction in the following cases for the financial year 2019-20. Payment made by a firm to a subcontractor rupees 3 lakhs with outstanding balance of rupees 1,20,000 shown in the books as on 31/3/2019.
Hmm. Go ahead. Answer. Don't read the answer, but tell the answer.
Sir, question once again, sir.
Hmm.
Sir, do we have to consider outstanding balance also, sir?
That's what. That's what is the important thing in the question. What? TDS has to be done on what? Read the answer so that you remember.
Provisions of tax reduction at source under Section 194C are attracted in respect of payment by the firm to a subcontractor. Under Section 194C, tax is deductible at the time of credit or payment, whichever is earlier at 1% of the 1% if the payment is made to an individual or HUF, and 2% for others.
Hmm.
Assuming that subcontractor to whom payment has been made is an individual and the aggregate amount credited during the year is rupees 4,20,000. Tax is deductible at 1% on rupees 4,20,000. Tax deducted is rupees 4,200.
So what did you understand?
Payment is deduction is based on time of credit or
Or
payment.
payment whichever is earlier, this point. Getting it?
Yes, sir.
So it is credited, it is due means TDS has to be done, whether you paid or not. Done?
Yes, sir.
Next. Next. Write out.
Payment of rent, Section 194I. Applicability, paid payment of rent,
Hmm.
paid to any rent paid to any resident in India, even on rent paid for hotel accommodation on regular basis. Rent for parking places are also covered.
Hmm.
Paid by assessors excluding HUF and individual who are not subject to audit.
Hmm.
Conditions if rent exceeds rupees 1,80,000 per annum.
Hmm.
Rate 2% on machinery and plant equipment, 10% on any land or building or furniture or fittings.
Hmm.
Exemption from TDS, no TDS on rent payable to state government and central government.
Hmm.
No TDS on cooling charges paid to cold storage. Time of production, amount credited or payment, whichever is earlier.
Okay. So what did we understand here? What did you understand? That is not 1,80,000. That is what?
2,40,000.
2,40,000. So what is this? This is in with respect to rent. So if I am getting rent from any individual, from someone, then the person giving me rent has to do TDS and pay the remaining amount. And this is not applicable in case of individuals and HUF who are not subject to audit. If the payer, for example, for Accounting Minds Bengaluru, we are paying 50,000 rupees rent every month. So that means per annum how much? Per annum? Per annum?
6 lakhs.
6 lakh. Should we do TDS?
Yes, sir.
How much percentage? How much percentage?
Sir, machinery only, no, sir.
What machinery? We are taking building. For what machinery? How
10%.
machinery? Is it machinery or building?
Building, sir.
I'm talking about rent now.
10%.
So how much I should do TDS?
10% on 6 lakhs, sir.
I'm not doing TDS. Why?
Sir,
I'm not doing any TDS.
turnover didn't take turnover didn't exceed 1 crore, sir. Sorry,
Right.
2 crore
We are not subject to
audit.
audit. And I'm an individual. Accounting Minds brand is Accounting Minds, but it's a individual business, sole proprietor. Guys, make sense?
Yes,
Done?
sir.
Right? Had it been Accounting Minds Private Limited, then TDS must be done.
Deducted.
Yes. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
But if it is Accounting Minds Private Limited company, do we have to do audit? TDS तो anyways I have to do, but whether I have to do audit?
Yes, sir.
But my turnover is not crossing 1 crore.
That is for individual and HUF. No?
That is not for individuals and HUF. Make sense? Right, guys? Exemption from TDS. Where there is exemption from TDS? In case rent is paid to central government or state government, okay, and it is for cold storage. Cold storage charges, you need not have two cases, they have exempted it. Understood? Done, guys. Yeah, problems you can do. No worries. This is easy. Interest is very easy part. We don't have to worry so much about it. You guys can read these questions. Okay. What is the next provision?
Payment of professional fees or technical fees or royalty.
Professional fees and technical fees also. TDS has to be done. Read it out.
Applicability, payment of professional fees or technical fees, etc.,
Hmm.
paid to resident in India,
Hmm.
paid by any SSC other than HUF and
Hmm.
individual who are not subject to audit.
Hmm.
Conditions, if payment exceeds 30,000 per annum, the
Hmm.
threshold limit of rupees 30,000 is not applicable in respect of sum paid to director. Rate 10% if PAN furnished,
Hmm.
20% if PAN not furnished, time of deduction, amount credited or payment whichever is earlier.
Okay. What is the threshold limit?
30,000.
Make sense? Anything I have to explain? Should
No,
I
sir.
explain anything? Go ahead, read.
East Bengal Club, a renowned football club, has engaged Raghu, a resident in India, as its coach at remuneration of rupees
Hmm.
66 lakh per annum. The
Hmm.
club wants to know whether it is liable to deduct tax at source from such remuneration. Hey,
Hmm.
no.
Go ahead.
As the aggregate in the financial in the year of
Hmm.
the coach being a professional exceeding rupees 30,000, the club shall deduct TDS under section 194J at 10% of rupees 6 lakh.
Hmm.
It's an offshore.
Go ahead, Nitya. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. P Limited engaged in manufacture of product. It paid a lump sum deposit and obtained 50 mobile phone services so that the employees of the assessee can be contacted immediately. The
Hmm.
company paid rupees 45,000 every month towards the service and call charges to the mobile phone franchise.
Hmm.
Mm. Years since P Limited acquired the mobile phones and also related
Hmm.
facilities, and the service is not technical service, the payment of the same shall not be subject to TDS under the Income Tax Act 1961.
Okay. Does it make sense?
Yes, sir.
Do you need any clarification there?
No, sir.
No, right? You understood the point there. Right? Go for the next one.
BCD Limited credited rupees 18,000 towards fee for professional services and rupees 15,000 towards fee for technical services
Hmm.
to the account of HG in its books of accounts on 6/10/2017. The total
Hmm.
sum of rupees 30,000 was paid by check to HG
Hmm.
on 18/12/2017. Examine the TDS liability.
So what? TDS has to be done or not?
Hmm.
How much is the TDS?
So for professional fees, it is 18,000, so that doesn't cross the threshold limit. And then
Why?
15,000 again.
For
Sir, is it
professional,
we have to take it in a different or like same, sir? Club it together.
in this case, on professional fees, TDS is applicable or not?
Hmm.
On professional fees, they generally TDS is not applicable or not applicable.
It is applicable, sir.
Uh, so
Oh, they have paid.
I'm not getting it. What is that you're saying? Wait a second. Let me come there. P limited, right? P limited, right? That one you're reading?
No, sir. BCD Limited.
BCD limited. Okay. What about BCD limited? So 18,000 and 15,000. So it's crossing 15, 30,000, or it's not crossing 30,000. It's crossing 30,000 or not crossing 30,000. If it is crossing 30,000, we have to do TDS, no? No, it's not like that.
Sir, is it like we have to calculate differently for professional services and different for fees for technical, sir?
Absolutely. Professional fees and these are different, right? The vendor changes, the TDS rule changes, the amount changes, the TDS rule changes. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
The bill changes, it also changes. Following it or not. So here, what is the answer? What's the answer here?
Technical fees, it doesn't cross the threshold, so it is not applicable, sir.
So it is not applicable. Go ahead, next.
So it's green, sir.
Hmm.
A company pays to a doctor a monthly retainership of rupees
Hmm.
1,500 for attending an outpatient clinic at its factory's premises.
Hmm.
Discuss TDS. Mm.
What is the
Sir,
answer?
if it
Ah,
1,500, if it exceeds 30,000, it
then
doesn't.
it
Sir, it
does.
doesn't exceed 30,000 in that case.
Hence,
No, sir, doctor pays. It is
hence
not deducted.
TDS is not right. Make sense?
Yes,
Now, this
sir.
is one case which they have given in the institute material. Sometime or the other, they may ask. So, read it properly and try to apply. Try to understand. Read it.
Discuss the following issues in the context of.
The material they have given. So, this could be an important one. So, just go through it.
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
Sir, the same nature of the payments will be clubbed together, and then even if after when it exceeds the threshold, then we can calculate to get like on the whole sum, no, sir. It's not based on vendor, no, sir.
Sorry.
Sir, for
Wait,
example,
wait,
contract.
wait a second. You are doing Nitya is doing one contract, same contract. Let us say contract of interior designing, and Urmila is also doing contract of interior designing. Classroom A, Urmila is doing. Classroom B, Nitya is doing for interior designing. So 18, I am paying 18,000 to Urmila and 20,000 to Nitya. Should I have to do TDS or not?
On each basis, we cannot do, sir. Then,
Oh, no, you tell me. TDS is always related to a vendor or not?
yes, sir.
Vendor to vendor, no?
Yes, sir.
Your TDS is separate, Urmila's TDS is separate. How can I do TDS combining both Nitya's and Urmila's payments? What is the logic
But
there?
your clients are Nitya and Urmila, no, sir.
Ah, yeah, come again.
Sir, you are paying to Nitya and
I am
Urmila,
paying,
sir.
but whose tax? Whose tax I am paying?
Mm,
Whose tax?
Nitya and Urmila.
So Nitya's why when I will say that Nitya I will deduct from 18,000 I will deduct the TDS and I will pay. She will say, why are you deducting TDS? You never crossed 30,000. You are not paying me more than 30,000. Yes or not?
Yes, sir.
And I have to deposit in bank. No, in whose name I will deposit? Whether it is will be on Urmila's or Nitya's. It's not like that. It is vendor based. Vendor to vendor, you have to see whether you are crossing 30,000 or not. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
So even if the total process 30,000, there's no need to deduct tax, no, sir. If the vendor to vendor is less than 30,000.
Vendor to vendor only is the 30,000 limit,
Okay, sir.
not the total. Are you
Yes, sir.
getting? It's total is the payment to one person exceeds 30,000. Then,
Yes, sir.
hmm. Getting it? So if to Nitya I'm paying 50,000, I have to do TDS. For Urmila I'm paying 10,000. I don't have to do any TDS. For Nitya I will do TDS. For Urmila I will not do. You're following it.
Yes, sir.
Read. Next one.
So read it out, sir.
This is a case study. This is a case study. Read the case study. You want to read it out?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Nitya. You're not reading it.
I'll read it, sir. Moon TV, a television channel, made a payment of 50 lakhs to a production house for production of program for telecasting as per the specifications given by the channel. The
Hmm.
copyrights of the program is also transferred to Moon TV. Would
Hmm.
such payment be liable to the tax reduction at source under Section 194C? Discuss.
Okay. One more time. Take a screenshot or something. Read it. Read it one more time. What does that say? Yeah. Yeah, Nitya.
So the channel Moon TV, they
Hmm.
made payment to a production house.
Production host. Shall we take Balaji Telefilms?
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
So for telecasting some program on that on Moon TV.
Hmm.
So they paid 50 lakhs, sir,
Hmm.
to the
Who paid?
production house. Moon TV paid it to production house.
Hmm.
Mm. The channel copyright of the program is also transferred to Moon TV. Even the copyright,
Correct. So who owns the, let's say that's a series. Okay.
so
That series. Who owns the copyrights?
production house owns the copyright, sir.
Production house owns the 50 lakhs they paid, they took. Now,
Uh, the
where?
copyright of the program is also transferred to
Correct.
Moon TV, sir.
Hmm.
Now the question is that TDS should be deducted or not, sir.
TDS should be deducted or not. Read it.
Next point, sir.
Hmm.
Also examine whether the provision.
Don't go to for the question. Read the answer.
In this case, since the program is produced by the production house as per the specifications given by Moon TV, a television channel and the copyright is also transferred to the television channel, the same falls within the scope of definition of the term work under Section 194C.
Right.
Therefore, the payment of
More of a sale. This is a more of a sale. This is not a more of a contract, is what they are saying. Are you getting it or not? Okay, this is more of a sale. Okay, they produced something and we purchased it from some of them. Are you getting? It's not a contract. Are you getting it?
yes, sir.
Hmm. Go ahead. Hmm.
Second case study, sir.
Therefore,
Okay. If, however, the payment was made by the Moon TV for acquisition of telecasting rights of the content already produced by the production house. There is no contract for carrying out any work as required in section 194C, subsection 1. Therefore, such payment would not be liable for tax reduction at source under section 194C.
I think we got it wrong. Where did we get it wrong? Where did we get it wrong? You read it wrong or I did it I read it wrong.
So
Read the question one more time. Moon television, Moon TV, a television made 50 lakh to a production house for production of a program for telecasting as per the specification given by the channel. Yes or not?
Yes, sir.
They are giving the specifications. You're following it?
Moon TV is giving the specifications, sir.
So you do like this, you do like this, you put it like interior designing. You are giving, I am giving you specification. The color theme must be like this. This should be like this. Okay, this is as per Vastu, it should be like this. I am giving you the instructions, specifications. Get yes or not? So it is a contract. So what is the first part? If the specifications are given by the channel, then what? It's a contract and TDS must be done. Right, Nitya? You're following it?
Yes, sir.
Right? I missed that point. Specification given by the channel, I missed. So that's why I said no TDS is applicable. Otherwise, TDS is applicable. Are you clear about this?
Yes, sir.
Examine whether the provisions of tax deduction at source under 94C would be attracted if the payment was for acquisition of telecasting rights already produced by the production house. They are already produced. We took the rights to telecast in our television. Are you getting it or not? In that case, it will not come under works contract and TDS will not be applicable. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Right. So there was no contract because they produced it, they are only selling it to us. That's not a works contract. Done.
Yes, sir.
The last one, Mudra, let's finish with that. We'll go finish this class. Go ahead.
Mudra Adco Limited, an advertising company, has retained a sum of 15 lakhs towards charges for procuring and canvassing advertisements from payment of rupees 1 crore due to Cloud TV, a television channel, and remitted the balance of rupees 85 lakhs to the TV channel. Would the provisions of TDS under section 194H be attracted on the sum of rupees 15 lakhs retained by the advertising?
Did we discuss 194H? Did I discuss 194H? Did I?
No, sir. It's
Right. Okay. 194H. Where is the 194H coming here? Okay, anyway, 194H commissions we have not yet discussed. Fees or commission we did not. Professional, probably they are asking from professional services perspective. Okay, so nevertheless, 194H when I'll discuss, you can deal with this separately, right?
yes, sir.
So tomorrow we will finish the remaining TDS and also we will discuss marginal relief. What is marginal relief we will discuss. And one more class on advanced tax and different forms of filing. Right, guys?
Yes, sir.
That's all for today. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.